Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Just waiting for some people to come in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Can you hear me clearly? I believe you can hear me clearly. I checked my mic. This broadcast is for the Ielts, tricks and tips in order for you to ace the Ielts. Although this class, like this broadcast, would just be the basic things you really need to know in order for you to ace the Ielts. It's for someone who is just trying to prepare. Going forward, I would ensure I go into it in detail. And I will also recommend the books you should read. What's wrong with my Wi-Fi? The books you should read, and the ones I took as well in order which I used to ace my Ielts exam. So before you go anywhere, do me want to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Do me want to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Like, share, click on the thumbs up. So today I just want to, for those people who don't know, my name is Beatrice Oti. I am a songwriter. Yeah. I'm a songwriter. I'm a recent author. I'm an IT specialist. I've been working in Canada for 6 years, and I just recently, and immigrants as well. So I just recently thought, why not tell people about your experience, right? Everybody has been talking about Canada immigration. Tell people about your experience and show people that there are better paths and other provinces they should take. So my niche is the immigration niche. And under the immigration umbrella, there is provinces, there is the weather, there is schools to go to, there's resume if you're looking for a job, there's IELTS if you want to immigrate, plethora of other resources, but in this video I'll be talking about IELTS. A lot of people actually ask me about IELTS. Like, Beatrice, how did you ace your IELTS? How did you do it? So I said, okay, you know what, let me just put in like the basic structure, what people really need, and put it out there. And in the future I will go in depth, and I will also recommend which study materials you should use. Let me make sure I'm looking into the camera. Which study materials you should use, because you don't want to do the same thing the same time and expect the same results. A better says, if you do the same thing the same time and you expect it's stupidity, doing the same thing the same time and expecting different is stupidity. You have to do something else. What is that something else? I will show you. So subscribe to my channel, and you can see on the screen. Follow me on join my Facebook group. It's free. Immigration vlog. Follow me on Instagram. It's free, immigration_vlog. So let's get on the gist for today. Just gonna be sharing my screen with you guys. Okay. Okay, so like I told you guys, this class would be for cracking the IELTS exam. I will be showing you guys the tips and tricks in order for you to get a band 7 and above. And the reason why you should be getting a band 7 is because the Canadian government requires you to get band 7 in your writing, your reading, your speaking, and your listening in order for you to get Canadian language benchmark of band 7. Now, if you are going to take the other exam, which is TEC, TCF, or CELPIP, that's an option. However, I usually recommend the ART. I took CELPIP, so that would be a different video. I would probably put that on my CELPIP versus ART. I took both, and when I compared both, ART is better. It is better for me. So if you are a computer person, you can try CELPIP. I'm gonna do like a live version for that one as well, hopefully. Let's see how things unfold. But for the sake of this video, it's just going to be for IELTS, and it's band 7 and higher because that is what the Canadian government requires. And this is for the general IELTS exam. However, everybody, academic as well as general training candidates, take the same IELTS writing tax 2. Tax 1 is different for academic because academic candidates do like a graph and all that. Why general training do like letter writing. This video is strictly for general training. However, you should still pay attention because everybody takes the same IELTS writing task too. So let's talk about the writing IELTS and the basic building block in order for you to, if you're just preparing, you don't even know how to go about. These are the key things you need to start learning while you're on your journey. I always advise read. I know it does. I did not put it here, but read books, read magazine, read journals, read articles, read. Okay, read, because the more you read, then you know what to talk about. If you're not reading, how will you know how to put things together? So reading will expand your thinking, to expand your understanding. So for IELTS, you need to know the 8 parts of speech. Yes, you need to know what are the 8 parts of speech. Their nouns, their verbs, their adjectives, their adverbs, their pronouns, their preposition, their conjunction, interjection. You need to know those and know where they are placed as well in a sentence. You need to know the different types of sentences. We have simple sentences, we have complex sentences, we have compound sentences, we have compound complex sentences. So you need to know those. The man runs is a simple sentence. You need to know the types of clauses. We have independent clause, we have dependent clause, we have subordinating conjunction, we have noun clauses, adverbial clauses, relative adjectival clauses. Do you know how they are placed in a sentence? Do you know where they should be placed in a sentence? These are things you need to start figuring out now. For me, I took 3 months, and I'm grateful I kind of started, I took 3 months even before my IELTS exam. I was just learning about parts of speech. I was learning about how to use nouns. These are things I knew from, definitely everybody knows this, but sometimes they can be confusing, right? So I had to learn what they are again, all over again, just to refresh my memory. So if you believe that is something you can, if you know art is something you're going to take in the future, you need to start doing that and start doing it now. So that by the time you are reading and you get to the advanced place in learning, these things will be hard for you to figure out. I don't know if you've actually been reading something and you find a word like, is this an adjective or a noun? And then you have to just Google it real quick. So this is the time to start doing that, okay? Know how to use articles, a and an. You use and for vowels, you use a for consonants, know how to use it for countable and uncountable nouns. Know your singular subjects and your singular subject and verb. IELTS usually use this one to trick you a lot, and they subtract marks because native speakers, the reason for this is because native speakers, they use it unknowingly, right? They use it and they don't know they're using it, but they do it correctly. Native speakers do like they put the singular subject and the singular verbs correctly, but they don't even know that, oh, this is a singular subject and this is a singular verb. So an example of that, I will give an example. The man runs. The man is a singular subject, runs is a singular verb. The boys play. Boys is a plural subject, play is a plural verb. So yeah, you need to know when, the S's, where the S will go in the verb and where the S will be absent in the verb. You need to know those. So this is the building blocks if you want to do one in your writing. And this is not just for your IELTS writing task 1, but also your IELTS writing task 2. So I just wanted to touch a little bit about sentences. So since we're in this we're talking about sentences. Sentences that have coordinating conjunction are usually called compound sentences, and those are sentences that have and, for, so, but, since, right? I usually abbreviate it using fanboy. So you need to know what your coordinating conjunctions are in order for you to make a compound sentence. Now, if you want to make a complex sentence, you need to know what your subordinating conjunctions are. Until, yet, so, whichever, whatever, or though. Those are subordinating conjunction. You need to know where they are placed in order for you to make a complex sentence. Remember, we have independent clause and we have dependent clause. Independent clause are the ones that can stand alone. Dependent clause are the ones that cannot stand alone. They need, support. Subordinating. What am I saying? Dependent clauses need another clause in order for it to be complete. They can't stand alone. Like, it doesn't make sense which went away. It doesn't make sense, right? It needs a subject to be complete. So you need to know all those. I just wanted to touch base on sentences as well, so people get the gist. So let's keep going. I want to keep these to 30 minutes because in the future we'll be going in depth. So before the exam day, before your IELTS exam day, I don't know if you've booked your exam or if you're about to book your exam or if you'll be taking your exam this year or next year or whatnot, I don't know. But this is someone who has taken the exam 3 times. I'm not ashamed of saying 3 times because I took the exam 3 times and I realized that everything is actually pattern. Once you get the pattern, it's easy. I can take the STD and I'll get it band 8 because I know what they are looking for. So, and that's why I'm bringing it up to you, because what I realize is people, a lot of people, they want to know something, they spend money, spend, do. Meanwhile, it's just one tiny thing they are missing. So once they find that, and if I can do well in the IELTS, anybody can do well in the IELTS. Trust me. I know why I said that. If I can, anybody can. Because I was not born in an English-speaking country. I was born in Warri, and in Warri we speak pidgin. Like, so yeah. So before the exam, what do you need to do? You need to write at least 20 topics. I wrote 100. I usually recommend write every single day. Write every single day. Make it fun. You don't need to write like 250 words. You could write like just 20 words. You could write 30 words. And little by little, you are building block. Little by little, you are building block. Repetition, you gain mastery by repetition. So now for the 20 topics, I'm just gonna list popular topics that usually come out in the IELTS. That they usually talk about finance. So they might ask you, the government of the United States made $300,000 in GDP, blah blah blah. Why are developing nations not making this? Discuss why or why not. They could talk about the government. They could say, tier 1 nations usually support their citizens via social security. However, third world nations are not doing this. Why or why not? Do you agree or disagree? They can talk about health. Due to the COVID situation, there has been a rise or a surge in depression. Can you give reasons and what solutions can be proffered? They can talk about lifestyle. Will ripped jeans become a trend in the nearest future? Why or why not? And or discuss. Now, it's not only why or why not or discuss, but those are most of the questions. And the writing part 2, remember, the writing part 2 is the chunk of your grade. Writing part 2 is 40% of your mark, and the writing task 1 is 20%. So you want to make sure you do it well. That's why I focus on the part 2 more than the part 1. And I will also give you tips for the part 1 as well, because you don't want to leave the part 1. Actually, for me, and I'll show you my results. For me, part 1 actually gave me an edge. I got a band 9 in part 1, and in part 2 I got a 7, I believe, or 6. I can't remember. And when they added it together, I got the required band. Oh, this one is my second exam. I think I got an 8.5 on 8.5 on the last time I wrote it. I actually put the second one here. I got a 7, I believe. Yeah. And obviously, they will talk about lifestyle, they will talk about COVID, they will talk about business. Now, what are the types of essay? This I will go in depth. The types of essay we have discussion essay, we have opinion essay, do you agree or disagree? We have what and why, offer proper solutions, and there are many more. But these are the ones that come often. In the 3 times I took the exam, it was always discussion essays. And then agree or disagree came on the last one. It was always give your opinion. Sometimes they will just say discuss. So make sure you read the question. Sometimes they will say discuss and give your opinion. Sometimes they will say agree or disagree. Sometimes they will say discuss only. So make sure you read the text properly before you answer. Do not rush. And I'll tell you, I'll break those down as well as we go along. I also wanted to, so this is the exam assessment. I pulled it up from Google. You can find it on Google. Just say IELTS writing exam assessment, Cambridge writing assessment, or British Council, whatever. So I pulled up just from band 7 to band 9 because if you want to come to Canada and immigrate, you need at least a band 7 in all 3. Band 8, awesome. Band 9, awesome. Because the higher the higher the band, the higher your CRS score. So you want to definitely meet those grades. So if you look at it, there's task achievement, that is 25% of your grade. Coherence and cohesion, 25%. Lexical resource, 25%. Grammatical range and accuracy, 25%. Pardon me, I want to make sure. Okay, good. 25%. Now let's read task achievement for band 8. It says covers all requirements of the task sufficiently, presents, highlights, and illustrates key features, bullets, points, clearly and appropriately. Let's look at coherence and cohesion. Sequence information, ideas logically, manages all aspects of cohesion well, uses paraphrasing sufficiently and appropriately. So when they give you your results, they will show you what you did. If in your result they tell you covers all requirements of the task sufficiently, present, highlight, illustrate, you know you were in band 8. If, however, they say covers the requirements of the task, academic required, blah, blah, you know you're in band 7. If they say fully set, you know you're in band 9. So they will give you a result and they will also show you these things for your writing. They will show you for your listening and reading as well. But this was how I knew I got a band 8, a band 7, because they told me covers requirement, blah, 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 blah. Now, for task achievement, please read it and understand what it is. Task achievement usually needs to write, you need to get the key points, write up to 250 words, over 250 words for part 2, 150 words for part 1, and cover all the requirements. You don't just want to write, you want to cover those key points that they mentioned. Coherence and cohesion, you want to make sure it's flowy, right? The sentences are flowing, not your noun is here and your preposition is there and your pronoun is, it wants to flow. That's cohesion and coherence. Lexical resource, they are looking for collocation, words that match together. Breathe deeply. You need to know your collocation. Sometimes I would recommend going online and pulling it up on Google and, know what your collocations are. If possible, make 10 lists of collocations daily so you are used to which words goes together. You don't want to use the wrong collocation. And if we look at lexical resource, let's go to band. Let's go to band 7. Band 7, tax 8. Uses a under lexical resource, uses a wide range of vocabulary fluently and flexibly to convey precise meaning, skillfully uses unknown lexical items, but there may be occasional inaccuracies in word choice and collocation. Produces rare errors in spelling. So remember, your spelling is important, but if you look at it, they are mentioning collocation. Also, it's also good to use transition. Consequently, however, also, furthermore, in order, you know where to put additionally, in addition to, have a list of them. So for me, I wish I could share, because there's a lot of things where I could share my other screens. I had a whole list for vocabulary, and I have a dictionary. I don't know if you can see me. I have a dictionary. I learn 10 words every day before my exam. If you learn 10 words every day for 365, that's like 360 something thousand words. Do your math. So you need to, if you really want to hit this, if you believe Canada is your dream, you want to hit this, you need to start doing those, okay? And your grammatical range and accuracy, you want to make sure your pronunciation, your punctuation is fine. Pronunciation is for speaking anyways. You want to make sure your punctuation is looking good. So let's continue. So like I said, you have 60 minutes for the entirety of the exam, part 1 and part 2. Part 2, you get 40 minutes. Part 1, you get 20 minutes for this, regardless that it's academic or general. Now, how do you write? I would suggest for the first 5 minutes, understand the question. Don't rush. Just understand the question. What is the question asking us about? What do you need to critique? What keywords? Because they don't like you using the same words. That's why vocabulary is important. As many vocabulary as you know, you don't have to use big grammar, like big words, flabbergasted. No, use words that is pretty much understandable. However, don't use the same word. If possible, use synonyms. I usually recommend paraphrasing. Underline those keywords if possible, especially if you're using pen and paper writing. If it's computer based, you have to highlight it using your mouse on your keyboard or whatever. Draw a map if possible. For mine, I actually drew a map. Have at least 5 ideas. So if you pull up one keyword, have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ideas for that one keyword and have synonyms for it, and then start writing. You don't have all day, just start writing. You can always polish it. I usually advise give yourself 20 minutes for the writing. After making, you can always come over. So because the second part is 40 minutes, so we want to use 5 minutes to understand the question. We want to use the remaining 5 to 10 minutes to put up our ideas, and we want to use 20 minutes to write, right? So that's 35 minutes. And then the remaining 5 minutes, we want to use it to polish. We want to make sure our grammars are looking well. If we did not use the proper collocation, we want to cross-check that. If we did not use the proper collocation, transition, we want to cross-check that. We want to put our punctuations correctly. We want to clean things up, okay, for the remaining 5 minutes, and then we go to task 1. And I usually advise, if you can read it out loud to yourself, that would be good, because when you read things out loud, you begin to you begin to spot errors, you begin to find mistakes. So read it out. I don't know if the examiner read it out loud though when they are marking it. Anyways, read it out loud to yourself as well. You can, because they don't like you shouting on the exam hall. My invigilators are very strict, so you can just whisper it and say, oh, blah, blah, blah. But make sure you read it out loud to yourself. These are the things that work for me. I will show you guys my results. So for the part 1, I remember I'm just doing this for general training because that's the exam I took recently. I did take academic, but it was a couple of years ago. I believe I can still teach it because I did well. So for general training tax 1, they usually give you informal letters, formal letters, semi-formal letters. I found the secret to this. It's the tone. The tone for writing tax 1, if you can kill it with the tone, he will hit about 9. I am guaranteeing you, because someone is if they tell you formal letter and the tone is formal, you will not do well. If they tell you formal letter and the tone is informal, you will not do well. If they tell you semi-formal letter and the tone is informal, you will not do well. Just go by the tone. Now, my recent exam was an informal letter. Hey, Ali. Hello. Using of what are those called again? Like putting abbreviations. Those are abbreviations. No, not abbreviations. No, those are not abbreviations. Putting the short form of would, the short form of add, using your apostrophe. When doing that, that's using an apostrophe, that will help a lot. Although don't do it too much and it becomes voluminous and a little bit out of place. Just make sure you use a little of those. Guess what I got in my formal letter? I believe I got it band 8. I wish I could pull up because I have the when they sent me my results, I have that. I would have loved to, but I'm using StreamYard. I can't remember where I kept it. It might take a long time. I'm trying to keep this to 30 minutes. Do not use dear sir or dear madam in an informal letter. Dear friend, dear Ali, dear Sam, that's how you write an informal letter. I'll talk to you soon, Ali. Cheers, Ali. I didn't mean abbreviation. I meant using apostrophe for I would. So instead of I would, you say I apostrophe D. End your letters with your friend. Cheers. See you soon. For informal, be friendly. Okay, for informal letter. Now we're talking about outwriting task 1. If you are joining me on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe. This is Beatrice Oti. I just want to make sure I'm telling you guys to subscribe. Okay. So if the letter is a formal letter, you have to keep it formal. So yes, you have to use dear sir, dear madam. I am disappointed in that's the language you would use. Be polite while you stay formal. And when you stay formal, you do not stay formal in the first paragraph and then become informal. No, stay consistent. Be formal in the entirety of the letter, and you have to keep it to 150 words. I usually advise 150 words. You just get 20%. However, this 20% can pull you up. So if you get a band 9 in your writing tax 1, and your writing tax 2, you get a band. Your writing task 2, you get a band 6 or band 5. Your writing task 1 will pull you up to band 7 or pull you up to band 8. So please take your task 1 seriously. And the secret is your tone. Your tone is your secret. If you can get the right tone, you will ace it. Okay. Be polite, stay consistent, end with yours faithfully. An example of formal letters are usually written to employers, to like a librarian, to the government, to a city district or a city mayor. Those are the types of formal letters. Now, this is a typical exam that came in my Ielts exam. Can you guess what type of letter this is? Is this a formal letter? Is this an informal letter? Or is this a semi-formal letter? Let's go. It says, write a letter to your friends telling them you cannot come over. Tell them why you can't. Tell them you will make it. Tell them about when you're coming. This is an informal letter. The hint is your friend. So when you look at this letter, it didn't like When you look at this letter, it's your friend. If they say write a letter to your boss, that's a formal letter. They say write a letter to your landlord, that's a semi-formal letter. Write a letter to a librarian, that's a formal letter. So know the type of letter. Once you know the type of letter and you get the tone, you're on your way to band 9. Okay? Semi-formal letter, it rarely comes. However, it is not a letter to your boss, it is not a letter to your friend. It's usually to your landlord or your landlady, to a school teacher or an accountant. Now, this is my exam. This is my exam. I got a band 8. I got 8.5 in this exam. Now, if you look at my writing, I got 7.0. It's really, I don't know. I recently took it though, but I got a band 7. Yeah. So do me well to subscribe. I would endeavor to make a proper course for Ielts. I know there's like voluminous people, but I actually took the exam and I will share my own unique tips with you so that you can ace that exam and get it back. So instead of taking the exam over and over again, do me well to subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. It's free. Instagram, I'm immigration_vlog. Facebook, immigration vlog. Thank you for watching, and I premiered a video on YouTube for Saskatchewan Immigration Promise. I'm also going to be putting another video in regards to resume writing and critique. Do me well to watch those as well. Thank you for watching. Okay.